Hi, welcome back to my channel. I decided today, because it is almost Halloween, that I would do some creepy story reading from Reddit, of course. So it's really grey outside. Like I said in my last video, the weather has not really improved since then. I've got, as you can see, a really autumnal background. This year I kind of wanted to get some pumpkin like decorations because I've always thought they're cute, but I've never had any. I have got washing going on in the background, but hopefully that's somewhat soothing. So let's get started. I am going to read from our creepy encounters because they seem spooky, but like more on the creepy end rather than like horror. I don't know. I find like ones that's just a little bit more disturbing actually quite interesting. So I have my iPad here and I'm just gonna go through and see if there are any that look interesting. Okay, right. There is one. The man at the gas station knew way too much about my drive home. Okay, right, this sounds awful already, but here we go. It's very short. So I was on a long road trip and stopped at a quiet gas station around 10 p.m. A man in a clean, plain car pulled up to the opposite pump. He was just staring straight ahead, not getting out. I went inside to pay, and when I came out, he was standing by my driver's side door, not his car. That's just never a good sign. Oh my god. He said, "Long drive, huh? You take the I-90. This might be American. I'm clearly not American, so just bear with me if there are any things I'm not understanding. I'm taking it that's a road of some sort. That stretch after dark. No, that stretch after the river is real dark. No lights. You should be careful." This is still the man speaking to her. Okay. I'd be suspicious. He described the exact route I was taking, which I hadn't mentioned to anyone. I just muttered thanks and got in my car, locking the doors immediately. He stood there watching until I pulled back onto the highway. I took the next exit and found a different route. Okay, that was a little bit that was a little bit creepy. I mean, I'm really skeptical whether any of these stories are actually true, but it's still fun to read them because you could imagine that being true, but also, I mean, I kind of always hope that these aren't true. Okay. Right, okay. Stranger at my door knew my name. I love how creepy the titles of these are. This happened about 6 months ago, and I have never stopped wondering what actually could have been going on. I was taking care of my parents' dogs while they went on a trip. About an hour after they left, my boyfriend came over. So it was just me and my boyfriend in the just left it and he kept knocking and ringing the bell. I could tell he was saying hello, hello, or something like that, but my dogs were barking so loudly I couldn't really make it out. They were really freaked out and jumping at the door, so I went to the front door with my boyfriend and we started to grab the dogs to take them away from the door. That was obviously a mistake because there's a window by my front door. I was trying to duck around, but he obviously saw me, and that's when he started saying my first name, still knocking on the door, but now he knew someone was home. Okay, I'm gripped. This is so freaky. I obviously freaked out when he started saying my name. He was saying, is that, insert name, are you, is, insert name home. Right, okay. Lord. By this time of day, it was dark, and I'm getting scared by the name drop and the fact he's not leaving. So we took the dog upstairs, and there's a window overlooking the front door area. I had my boyfriend open the window and talk because my true rhyme-rotted brain was thinking this guy could see there's another man there and I'm not home alone. Smart. When my boyfriend asked what he wanted, he just kept asking for me by name. He started saying he needed to talk to me or see me. Then he said he had something of mine. He was like, I need to see her so I can give something to her. My boyfriend asked what it was, and he was just kind of saying stuff about how he needed to see me, but he wasn't saying anything specific. Then my boyfriend asks if he can leave whatever it is at the door, and he says he needs to leave. Oh, the boyfriend says he needs to leave. The guy at the door was pushing my boyfriend on that, asking how he knows it's going to get to me if he doesn't actually see me. My boyfriend asks how he would know it's me, and he says he knows me. Sorry, this isn't written in the best way. There's a lot of weird sentences, but yeah. So by that point, I was getting a little sick of the back and forth with this dude, and my boyfriend said we were calling the cops. The guy seemed pissed, and he left then. So I have spent enough time on... Okay, wait, I'm not going to read that bit. Wow, honestly reading the comments is quite interesting as well, but that's really spooky. I wouldn't be able to sleep after that. If this is true. God, yeah, people are saying he didn't actually leave the thing, which clearly it wasn't, so clearly it wasn't that important. Oh my god. Really cringy. A lot of people, I'm reading some, and a lot of people are saying this gets posted here every week. Okay, right, creepy neighbours, this one's called. Sorry, I haven't actually looked at these beforehand, so I'm just trying to gauge which ones I should read. Right, I'm aware this is going to make me sound like I'm spying on my neighbours. I'm just very observant of my surroundings, being a mother and having people walking around my house and trying to break in. The cops are called often because of it, and they have only called someone once. I'm keeping descriptive words vague for obvious reasons. I have neighbours that are extremely weird. They just moved in a while ago. They cut their grass every 3 weeks. That wouldn't be weird if we got a lot of rain and they didn't seen with brown paper bags and heavy trash bags before sunrise, and he's putting them into his trunk and leaves. They have a shed, and over the summer they had their kids' friends over and they were playing near the shed. The wife comes out and tells the kids something. It wasn't audible, but their response was, "Oh yeah, we aren't playing over there anymore." They always are in their backyard and flashlights. Backyard with flashlights at exactly the same time every night. They do have a dog, but they always have their black porch lights on, and when they go inside, they never have the dog with them. It's suspicious. Yeah, honestly, I mean, a few things there seem kind of weird, but also a lot of people are saying in the comments, this person writing it is kind of weird for just spying on them, and that's fair enough. That's what I thought. It's really, I mean, I feel like you can make behaviour creepy when it's not, if you just look at it that way. Like, there might be perfectly reasonable explanations for everything they're doing, but just because you're looking at them in that way, it seems creepy. Okay, I'll read one more, I think. Learned my lesson, sit by the bus driver. This is interesting to me because I'm always taking the bus, and yeah, I've had a fair few weird encounters on it. So I had to take a bus once from my town to another that was about a 5-hour drive. I sat mid-bus because I wasn't thinking it would be an issue, and really it shouldn't be. I agree. I had 2 seats to myself and was enjoying the ride, relaxing and killing time. There were stops along the way, and we'd made a couple with no incident. I think we were about an hour away from my final destination when this guy got on the bus and locked eyes with me, came right over and sat in the seat beside me. I pretended not to notice him and gave him the shoulder, looking out the window. He'd been drinking, and I quickly discovered was still drinking. At the time, I was old enough, I think early 30s, that I knew how to stand up for myself, but also just from my background, sometimes felt compelled to be cool with things that I really wasn't cool with. This guy was one of those things. Yeah, I really get that. He eventually just started telling me things. He'd gotten out of jail that morning and went right to the bar to celebrate. He was meeting up with his patrol officer. Sorry if the audio went weird. And hoped he wouldn't be able to tell. Like, good luck with that. He didn't touch me or anything, but kind of rubbed shoulders. If this were me now, I'd just calmly, respectfully ask if he'd let me get by, and I'd go and sit next to the bus driver. At the time, though, I put up with his shit. On our last stop came up, he propositioned, saying that if I went to the party with him, I wouldn't go home for days. I said a flat out no, and he at least respected that. I was so glad to be meeting a friend at the bus station, because even though this guy took my no, he had a few people he was meeting up with, and maybe they'd be less respectful, and I didn't want to have to wait around if it meant waiting around with them. Again, at this age I have a better idea of how to handle these things, but it's still not a great situation. Yeah, that seems very believable, honestly, and it is always creepy. You really don't want to be having that when you're just trying to, I don't know, get to work, get to wherever you're going. document on his computer. My parents didn't lock the doors until they went to bed because it was a safe neighborhood. I understand that, but also I honestly don't think that could ever be me. Like, I lock my door all the time. It's just crazy. Suddenly, a man barged into the house. My mum was so scared that she froze. He didn't say anything. She barely got out, "What do you want?" when he started walking towards her. She yelled my dad's name, and for the first time he didn't ask what was up or anything. He just came upstairs. As soon as the man saw that my mum wasn't alone, then he left very quickly. They called the police, but nothing came of it. My mum was convinced that my dad immediately came upstairs because he could tell something was wrong by her voice. She always thought the man meant to assault her, and knowing my dad was there made him leave. She never saw him again. Oh my god, that is properly terrifying, and something I could see that happening. Wow. I mean, people, yeah, the kind of like, we never locked our door because it was a safe neighborhood is always how something scary starts. Oh my god. I just can't imagine that. That's really creepy. But also, like, not even just creepy, that is just dangerous and terrifying, and I'm glad she was okay. The last two sounded a little more believable. Right, so that is it. They were some creepy encounters. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed reading them. Sorry, these noises. Yeah, I want to keep doing these videos and keep up with making them, so I don't just neglect this channel for ages again. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope you're well, and that made you feel